Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Beastly Eel. And in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of X-Men 97. So in this episode we actually go back in time to when the Genosha was destroyed and Colossus and his sister Magic were trying to protect as many people as possible. When the massive Sentinel went to attack, Magic stood in the way, took a blast right to the face basically, and was killed. Colossus obviously mourned her death. He apparently joined a group with the leader being Exodus, who apparently is trying to create and call themselves the Disciples of Magneto. So in this, they apparently are trying to prove that mutant kind needs to evolve and be treated appropriately. So part of the reason there is they're trying to show that they need to get to where they need to be. So part of the thing is they want to, how do I want to phrase this? Basically take everyone who is bad for mutant kind, who have been proven to be bad against mutant kind, and to be punished. Specifically, Creed. So Creed is obviously Sabretooth's son, and apparently he's been released and is now trying to how do I want to phrase this? Basically, the idea is he was being released to the world. Is the best way to kind of describe that. And Exodus was not happy about it, so he goes in, takes out, and captures him. Proves to everyone that, hey, you know, we're not going to allow this to happen. He will be executed because he's proven time and time again that he is a monster against mutants, and that nobody, and I mean nobody, should be allowed to be able to do that kind of damage to anybody, but specifically to mutants. And the fact that the U.S. government allows him to still exist / be free is a problem in and of itself. So X-Corp decides that they're going to go and deal with it themselves, because apparently the Disciples of Magneto's base is in Savage Land. Savage Land is an area in Antarctica that is basically a tropical destination that has dinosaurs and everything else. It's where Mr. Sinister used to rule, for those of you who don't know. So anyway, we fast forward to specifically the X-Corp to go there. X-Corp and X-Factor, aka the leaders of the two of them, Professor X and the Secretary of Defense, get into a massive argument between the two of them over the fact of who's going to get involved in it, and she makes it very clear that X-Corp should not be involved whatsoever, because if anything would happen to Creed, then it is going to cause a severe issue, and they will be shut down immediately. And Charles Xavier's like, well, you know, don't worry, we'll be fine. So the team exists of Bishop, Polaris, Nightcrawler, Rogue. Oh no. Who the fifth? Who's the fifth? Nightcrawler, Rogue. Oh, Beast. I really struggled with that last one. So the idea is they all head over to the Savage Land. When they get there, a massive wave of energy flows through them, enough that causes Bishop to be able to absorb it, but not be able to release it. Part of the problem there is apparently the inhibitor tower that Sinister had created was being used so that no mutants other than the Disciples of Magneto were able to use their powers. So while this is going on, their ship gets destroyed. They split off. Bishop gets knocked out of the jet. Rogue almost does, but Nightcrawler saves her. Polaris basically jumps out of the plane. Now, granted, she can't fly right now because she does not have her mutant ability at this time. So she jumps out of the plane to grab Bishop, where she's also able to grab a parachute on the way down. Uses it to slow them down enough that they don't die on impact when they hit the ground. The other three mutants smash into the ground with the X-Jet. I believe it's the X-Jet. But anyway, they crash land into the Savage Lands. So Bishop tells Polaris that they need to figure out a way to shut off the inhibitor, because if not, he's going to explode with all the energy that's built up inside of him. And Polaris is like, I really do not want to watch that, so let's try to figure this out. So their plan is to go after the inhibitor tower, while the other three mutants were saved by Colossus and the other members of the Disciples of Magneto, and stated that they were there, explained why they were there, that they were there to release Creed. And the group laughs, saying there's no way in heck that's happening. And that's when Nightcrawler basically states, hey, why don't we just have a discussion? Let's see what your world's like, and then we'll go from there. And Colossus agrees. So while this is all going on, we have the group get to Exodus. So they basically they show that Creed is still alive. Nightcrawler is obviously his half-brother. So Nightcrawler tries to talk to him, and Creed's just like, why don't you just kill me and get it over with? I'm done with this already. And so Nightcrawler, and then Exodus is like, say he shouldn't be allowed to live. This is ridiculous. Nightcrawler then proposes something to Exodus, and states, hey, why don't we give him an actual trial, a trial against mutants? I will defend him, and you are the prosecutor. Colossus can be the judge, and if we all agree that he needs to go, then he goes. But if not, then he's released. And, he's like, well, what do I get in this? He goes, well, if you win, I will then stay. If I can't convince you that that he has a soul that is worth living, then I will join forces with your group. No questions asked. So Exodus agrees, Colossus is the judge, and they begin to have the trial. Exodus goes over talking about all the nasty things that Creed has done in the past, where Nightcrawler focuses on where Creed comes from. That Creed's hatred for mutants comes from the only two people that he knows that should know and should love him, but never did. It was none other than Creed himself, which is Sabretooth, and Mystique, both of which disowned him for not being a mutant. So because of all of this, he's hated mutants ever since, and Nightcrawler goes over the whole spiel about how, just because they were bad people, they were just bad people. They weren't, that doesn't mean all mutants are like that. You have to understand that. And kind of showing that Creed is a monster because of his parents, and that he needs time to actually deal with the fact of his parents being awful. So Colossus is then being used as the judge. He hesitates, where Exodus is not happy about that, begins to attack Colossus, and state that he was going to kill Creed himself. While this is going on, we have Bishop and Polaris, who blasted the inhibitor tower with blasters, obviously, on top of pterodactyls, and then fly towards the group as well. The wave explodes, causing them to be able to use their mutant abilities, and that's when Nightcrawler grabs a sword and goes toe-to-toe against Exodus. They all begin to fight each other. Colossus then helps the X-Corp because of what happens. During all of this, Creed shoots Exodus, killing him. And before anybody can kill Creed, Nightcrawler teleports him out of there into the, I guess it was the Antarctic, I believe. Leaving him there for them to deal with the aftermath of Exodus and what happened. And then Nightcrawler asked a simple question, because Colossus joins them, and states and wanted to know, did he actually plead his case enough that Colossus would have changed his mind? And Colossus said, unfortunately not. I was still thinking he didn't deserve to live. But he did state that, however, you would have convinced my sister, but you did not convince me. And Nightcrawler was very pleased with that. So then we have X-Factor, or X-Force. I forget what they are. Cable's team follows this trail to find where Apocalypse is. Where they get there, Apocalypse is dead, and there's only a calling card that makes everyone assume that it was Gambit. One of the big things here that I'm confused on is that Apocalypse sort of dies a lot, weirdly enough. It's kind of inevitable. So I don't think he is actually dead. because he has to get a new body so often, so it's not all that crazy for him to be missing his body and having that issue. But I don't know that for a fact, so I'm not confident as I should be. But that's my assumption for right now. But overall, we're definitely getting at least Gambit at this point, especially with the fact that we have Exodus being killed as well. I'm so curious at who is going to be the Horseman of Apocalypse, because we have potentially Exodus. We potentially have, well, we know we have Gambit. We potentially have Magneto. So I'm very curious to see what that's going to look like. But we'll have to wait until next week to know for sure. But for now, let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.